here we go. Welcome back to My Unique Skill Makes Me OP at Level 1. Even Level 1. Anime Review Episode number 3. Yeah, even though I said I was going to do Scooped Up by S-Ring Adventure, but I actually was watching this while I was eating my dinner. So in these episodes, it's a bit unique here what goes on here. So we do have to return to the girl who actually spot those pinecone things. Previous episode because Ryoga got himself, some watermelon. So, in order to go beyond level 5, because apparently they explained that in order to explore these levels, these dungeons, is that once you get past level 5, you have to have a license. Purely for the danger level. Okay, seems pretty reasonable enough. He also, at this period of time, also developed a very interesting ability because he found out that stray monsters can also do drops. For him, anyways, it resulted in getting more bullets. Like, if it was a mummy, he gets a white bullet. This comes to play later on with this one. Now, the red bullets he has here are fire bullets. He gets those. The first special bullets, first he had the regular bullets, and then he had the ice bullets, then fire, and then healing, and eventually he got a green bullet, which is a homing bullet. He actually got that in episode 6. So you have all that. He does run into the princess from our previous episode, who has now developed these very special boxes, where whoever absorbs the air of these drop stuff in these boxes, their face appears on the box, so they can identify who picked up the stuff. And he just, because, oh, you're an adventurer, here, take these. And he uses it pretty well. It becomes very, very much handy later on when he's testing out, he's getting more bullets. Basically, Emily tells him, oh yeah, there's a magical storm coming. And apparently this magical storm cuts all magic for like a period of like a day or two. And everyone just takes day off from basically going on exploration quests. But, of course, there were two newbies who arrived in town, apparently didn't know about it. His partner is apparently trapped, is like stranded in a dungeon. He had, of course, to run for help, which was the right thing to do. At least he didn't like leave her and just be laughed about it. Everyone turns him down. By the way, we also introduced to the character Neptune, part of this, where he just randomly just goes to Ryoga's table and arm wrestles him. Ryoga beats him, and of course he does the whole punch thing, which knocks him over. Basically, he's there to recruit his party, and he says no, purely because basically he's enjoying his time with Emily. Which Emily, yeah, she appreciates that, the fact that, somebody is like loyal to her. Yeah, from what I could tell, yes, she appreciates the loyalty, and we do so in flashback that Emily is the daughter of another adventurer who actually died saving a bunch of adventurers from a dragon. Which, yeah, fighting a dragon and basically barely surviving. Like, surviving a dragon probably was awesome in its own feat, but she later died, and of course, her mother is telling, Emily's mother is telling her that be sure to take care of the ones you love and care about. Which Emily is in love with Ryoga, obviously. Of course, Issa stops by, eats carrots because she's obsessed with carrots. So then, of course, they're able to get him out. And of course, the girl's name was Rose, so she's badly injured. So then, of course, he fires a bullet off at her and heals her. Healing bullet. Now, the healing bullet thing, I've seen only in one other anime. And the anime being the Hidden Dungeon of Like an Incher. Of course, that was used by an elf, and that was tied into her life force. And as for the main character using a gun, per se, the only other series I can think of where the main character uses a gun is actually my smartphone. That's the only one I can think of that does that. So, eventually, he does a little stray bullet thing, like stray animal. He takes a fish, which was dropping, and then the fish turns into another gorilla. He frees the gorilla and destroys it and gets another gun. This helps a special ability of his fusing bullets to create a special effect. And there's also this new dungeon popped up. Apparently, we have these outsiders basically taken hostage, so he proceeds to knock all of them out by using 2 healing bullets to make a sleeping spell, knock them all out, and of course, Neptune happily is like, and you can help me. He's like, fine. Yep. Gets him out of there. And then he's contacted by a dungeon count, which I'm like, that is interesting. Because the only other series I come across where you have a character with this title is, well, at the top of my head is actually, I left my A-Rank Adventure party, the Joint Former students, to explore dungeon depths. That's the only one I can think of where that happened. Oh yeah, definitely. Oh good, I want to next. Yeah, and basically hired him a spot to explore his dungeon before this other town, which their rival town, because their specialty is meat and their specialty is vegetables. So they get there, and on the way there, of course, Emily is invited to come along because, despite the fact initially Ryoga is one basically sent out there, he brings Emma along just because basically he enjoys her company. So he's asked to get water, while she proceeds to build inside this tent 2 beds, a table, a stove, a bench, and cooks food in a matter of just a couple hours. And I'm like, did the writer of the series borrow an idea from the guy who created the Underworld Altier Meister, a guy who basically can speed build in a matter of hours? Yeah. And so she's like, oh, I carry materials in my big backpack. Is that like an infinite bag with infinite storage in it? Who knows? And of course, they had this whole thing of like, where you have to burn the trash, because even the trash creates stray monsters. They allowed it to happen, and they destroy the monster anyways. And then they arrive at a dungeon, and of course there's this big pile of trash, and this very beautiful girl, who, when Yoga looks at her face, she's got bags in her eyes, she's very pale. He points out, though, like, he has seen this before, for somebody who hasn't slept in a month, and working 100 hours straight. And she burned one pile of garbage, and then of course she burned another, and then she just passes out. Ending the 2 episodes. Overall here, we're really good here, and we have only 6 more left to go. And looking up, I just checked, the final episode of I left my A-Rank Adventure to Performance Students Explore Dungeon. I'm going to watch that next. And then it was screwed with my S-Rank Adventure. And then the Shy Hero and 3 Print and the Assassin Princesses. And I'll probably get back to this. Yep. So, that's the episode of the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. See you next video. Bye.